Trump administration has announced its first major staffing shakeup. President Trump says he is nominating National Security Advisor Mike Waltz to be U.S. Ambassador to the United Nations. Waltz had been at the center of a scandal for mistakenly adding a journalist to a Signal group chat used to discuss upcoming battle plans. Secretary of State Marco Rubio will be the interim National Security Advisor.
Well, there does appear to be a question of how well Waltz took that message. Reuters photos captured Waltz using Signal
unit, and it's particularly in Paktika province where Specialist Full was located.
We went out to OPMS.
These gentlemen, the question I can't get anyone to ask that was involved with this, and I've talked to a number, is why
appropriately, if we need to, but I'll never discuss it. And no one will ever make us discuss it because that's how foreign policy works.
Mr. President, in the interim, Secretary of State Marco Rubio will serve as National Security Advisor while continuing his strong leadership at the State Department. Do you know how long he's going to be serving in both roles?
It is clear that I just heard this from you. This is the magic. Well, I have some insights as to the potential of certain things that might happen. But when the president, and this of course is all presidential decisions, right? So I'm with the State Department. It is, as I think would be clear to all of you, you don't want to get ahead of your skis in drawing conclusions or speculating about what may occur. And you can have a general sense of what's possible. And then you see that manifest usually. But I think the one thing I've learned is that things don't happen until the president says they're going to happen. So that is an exciting moment here. I think that, as I know Secretary Rubio, this is a man who, as I think you all know, has worn several hats from day one in managing the nature of what's happened here at the State Department, at USAID.
An amazing meeting. This whole room can say that very strongly, really.
So he wasn't let go. He is being made ambassador to the United Nations, which of course is a Senate-confirmed position. I think you can make a good argument that it's a promotion. But we brought Mike on to do some serious reforms of the National Security Council. He has done that. I like Mike. I think he's a great guy. He's got the trust of both me and the president. But we also thought that he'd make a better UN ambassador as we get beyond this stage of the reforms that we've made to the National Security Council. You saw the president announce that Marco Rubio is going to step in as interim leader of the National Security Council. So I think the media wants to frame this as a firing. Donald Trump has fired a lot of people. He doesn't give them Senate-confirmed appointments afterwards. What he thinks is that Mike Waltz is going to better serve the administration, most importantly, the American people in that role, and I happen to agree with him. If the president wanted to fire him over the Signal thing, which, by the way, was a total nothing burger of a story, he would have just done it. But he actually decided it's better for Mike to be in this new role. He's given Mike the new role. That's it.
Is this a demotion for the National Security Advisor?
Yeah, there's no question. You know, the UN ambassador job, it's a cushy job in a lot of ways. $15 million penthouse apartment in New York, not all that bad for Mike Waltz. But when you're thinking about the Trump administration, I can't think of a place where the president is thinking about less than the United Nations. He doesn't view that body as particularly effective when it comes to foreign policy. And so I think when you're moving out of a corner office in the West Wing and moving to an entirely different city, you're not going to have as much influence with the president, who is someone in a lot of ways where proximity is where your power is derived from. And so I think this is no question a demotion. The president had lost confidence in Mike Waltz.
妈妈是我的心肝宝贝，她值得最好的。想帮助提升行动力，养颜美容，水嫩透亮。我为妈妈选择石基岩德国胶原蛋白生态。知道妈妈总舍不得买给自己，我来买。希望妈妈轻松有活力又美丽，假霸级。现在就上快点购母亲节，石基岩德国胶原蛋白生态宠爱妈妈超值专区，享各项女神好礼，最高双重送，21000加送520元购物金。透过中天新网 App 下单或输入 CTI 推荐码，每单再减50元。